Hello, welcome to this new episode of the Alex Show TV. This episode is from October the 24th of the year 2025, and as always, today is a Friday. And this is going to be a short one, a very interesting one. I'm very fond of talking about this. I'm pre-recording this a few weeks after, but I just had recently, the last few days, a discussion with someone, a friendly discussion. There was nothing wrong with that. Uh, on how I strongly believe in my heart that they use anger, pleasure, and pain to control us. This is such a hot topic. This is such a topic everyone has. I've seen the spectrum of opinions. Some say pain is a teacher. Some say uh, anger is a teacher. Some say we should be pissed off. We should be upset. We should be upset at the system. We should try to replace the system with our own system. And I see, with all due respect, a lot of judgment there, a lot of even arrogance, okay? To say we're going to replace the system, that has been tried so many times. And that's why I say, in my heart, I feel there shouldn't be a system, okay? We're mature enough to try to do it as if it's done somewhere else, that there are no hierarchies, basically. And we, exactly the same way, there's not a system, there's not a hierarchy when you have a family gathering, a friends gathering, same way, all humanity, if we understand we're all brothers and sisters, we could live alone. And for me, this topic is such important because I've been saying in the last 2 minutes of the show, 4 years now, 4 years. There's a section there about emotions, how you're going to notice some emotions, they really don't serve you. They really don't add anything. And I think anger, and I even talked there about lust. Let's talk less related to pleasure, but pleasure can be many things. You can enjoy pleasure even by eating, by drinking. Sure, sexually is the one that we kind of, I'm not saying we think about more, but we relate pleasure to sexual pleasure. But yes, there are many pleasures in this reality. And I think they could be enjoyed in a way that don't control you. How do I think, for example, pleasure could be something not necessarily good when it controls you, when it's everything you're thinking about? And I think more than a pleasure, that has become an addiction. Okay. For example, let's say you enjoy going to the slots, you enjoy, I know they're worldwide now, you can even play online. Let's say you enjoy a little gambling here and there on sports. I think it's if first of all, if you use money, you are willing or you can have the possibility to actually lose, and you do it in a peaceful way, it could be an enjoyment. It could be something like that. It's like having a glass of wine, like having a pizza, it's like having a sexual encounter. All of those things, you decide the angle, okay? But if the only thing you're thinking is having sex, and you're having sex with many partners, and you're only seeking the enjoyment, and as soon as the sexual act is done, you don't even want to see the person anymore, that's a red flag. You're doing it for the physical pleasure that, sure, we all know that sex gives you, uh, but it has become an addiction. Okay. Same with drinking. Same with drugs. But drugs, that's the only one I cannot encourage to take any drugs, especially hard drugs. That's a no-no. Okay. That I think there's a limit there. But with drinking, for example, you have a few drinks with friends and that you don't get impaired. You don't drive like that. You don't get rageful. That's a red flag, by the way. When you're drinking and you start to deal with rage with for no reason, there could be entities that are attaching to your etherical body, to your astral body. They're attaching you. That's why you don't see them, but they're attaching to you because you're actually, the drinking is allowing that. The excess drinking. Okay. Um, I I need, I can speak about my personal situation. I do drink socially, but it has been years now that I've reached a level that I feel I overdid it, and that's when I'm setting myself in trouble. Okay. And maybe it was 10, 15 years ago that I really, I don't usually drink vodka, for example, and I think all different alcohol types affect you differently. Right now, I'm sticking to beer and wine. I'm not doing any whiskey, bourbon, rum, vodka, etc. I do believe those are a little bit. First of all, they're harder on you, and it could get to a point that you are having a nice time, and suddenly you are in that level that it has affected. Okay, and and no, it's not necessarily you probably could just fall asleep and something very benign, but you could also be setting yourself up, and it's just notice how it affects you. Okay, your emotions. If you start getting very rageful, belligerent, and that, every time you drink, even with a few drinks, maybe it's time to look elsewhere. Of course, the recommendation is they claim no alcohol is better than any kind of alcohol. Uh, they don't say that in Italy with wine, for example. They say 1 to 2 glasses of wine per day. They actually help with circulation and blood. And I don't know. It's a hard one. Of course, that's how uh, monks do it. So they go out there in the Tibet. They don't have any alcohol. They they get their own food. They don't have any. They totally take the pleasures, the anger, the pain away. They live a very centered, very zen life. Okay. What I'm trying to say is this is reality. Okay. Pleasure, pain, anger, and other emotions are around us all the time. I'm just trying to give very simple suggestions or comments how maybe don't feel, oh, I had a slice of pizza, I'm horrible. No. Because I remember one person passing judgment on me one time that we had a nice chat. It was someone that was on the channel a long time ago, years ago. And then after recording, told me, do you drink? Or I know, yes, I do socially. What? No, no, you cannot be spiritual if you drink. Really? Really? Okay, I'm not sure about that. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. This reality, of course, you can have a slice of pizza. Of course, you can enjoy some of the pleasures as long as you don't allow them to control you, because then there's something else going. Okay, so we have a support video to watch. It's not really related to this is a strange one. I go back to Sophia and that it gave me kind of the chance to do a topic, but I wanted to give it my own spin. So maybe this support video is not going to look uh, as important or as relevant to what I'm talking, but especially the end, the last minute of the support video, I think it talks how the archons that we have been talking about, the controllers of this reality, kind of the gatekeepers, they use anger, pleasure, and pain. They use it. So if it works on you, if they control you through that, there's something going on. And that's something maybe you can look at if you want. If not, it's perfectly fine. Just keep going like that. Just know that they're using, as you can see in the screen, I see little strings, and I kind of, in the image, I know you see them, especially in the one on pleasure, you see four clear strings. I see it like that they use all of these different emotions. So that's what I say in the last 2 minutes of the show. You are gonna notice they don't serve you anymore. That they don't the word serve is probably wrong. They don't control you anymore. And that's why you are not gonna feel the need to be rageful, to be pissed off. That's why you're gonna breathe when you have a situation that is stressful, and you're gonna have a much better outcome, okay? That's why you're not gonna allow pain, which is normal, financial pain, medical pain, the worry of something happening, of something going on with a loved one, someone in your family, or even some of your friends. The constant worry of the financial pressures of this reality, that becomes the worry. I had a show a long time ago. Worry becomes pain. Yes, worry is pain, essentially, okay? But how you react to it, if you allow the pain to control you, then money is controlling you. If you do not allow the pain and you work somehow to fix your issues, then you are controlling money, even if you don't have a lot. You don't need millions to control the energy of money. It's an energy that is very strange. You cannot, it's like having a problem with food. Yes, I know we already said that we can go out without food. Yes, I'm convinced of that, but it's very hard to do. Okay, so you have to understand in this reality we have food. It's not the best one we can get unless you actually farm it yourself. You have that possibility. You are very lucky. Or if you get it from a farm very close by, very that the people that are doing that, then you're in great shape. But if you get your food from the supermarket, it is what it is, and we have to make our peace with that. And we have to try our best with whatever we have, as long as we don't allow it to control us. If you go to a burger joint every day, then you're allowing that food part, that energy of food, to control you and make you disease eventually. I don't know if it makes sense. Let's watch the support video together. I'm going to give you my final thoughts. This short Friday episode on they use anger, pleasure, and pain to control us.
Pleroma is the realm of totality and divine fullness, inhabited by divine emanations called aeons, which personify attributes of the invisible spirit, the supreme source. Among the aeons, Sophia holds a central place. According to Gnostic texts, such as the Secret Book of John, Sophia acted impulsively, attempting to create something on her own without the knowledge or consent of her divine partner or the invisible spirit. This act gave rise to a being called Yaldabaoth, an imperfect and arrogant entity who did not recognize his origin and proclaimed himself as the only god. Yaldabaoth is the central figure of the Demiurge, a flawed creator who generates the material world as a distorted copy of the Pleroma. In his eagerness to consolidate his dominion, Yaldabaoth creates the Archons, who are described as his subordinates. In some texts, such as the hypostasis of the Archons, it is mentioned that the Archons were formed from elements of chaos and shadows, reflecting the incomplete and confused nature of the Demiurge himself. Each Archon rules over a celestial sphere and has a specific role in the administration of the material cosmos. Together, they thus form a hierarchical system designed to subjugate humanity and keep it in ignorance. And that, according to these books and this knowledge, is what they are doing to you today. The Archons, according to the Gnostic narrative, have a single purpose: to perpetuate the deception of the material world and prevent human souls from discovering their connection to the Pleroma. Their influence is not only physical but also mental and spiritual. The Archons are responsible for sowing distractions, fears, and confusion, using pain and pleasure as tools to keep souls trapped in an endless cycle of reincarnations and suffering. One of the key functions of the Archons is to guard the heavens and the planetary spheres. In Gnostic cosmology, each celestial sphere represents a barrier that the soul must cross in order to return to the Pleroma after death. The Archons act as guardians of these heavenly gates, questioning souls and detaining those who have not attained gnosis, the spiritual knowledge necessary to free themselves from their grasp. In texts such as the Gospel of Truth and the Apocryphon of John, the Archons are described as beings with grotesque forms and animal attributes, reflecting their corrupt nature and their distance from divine perfection. One of the most prominent Archons is Saklas, also known as the Fool, who shares attributes with Yaldabaoth, suggesting a complex hierarchical structure within these forces.
Okay, as I said, it was a little bit off topic. We have been talking a lot about the Archons, about Sophia and everything like that. But I mean, I didn't want to do a 30-second support video, but the interesting part is, as I shared, is in the last minute, how did they use anger, pleasure, and pain to control us, okay? And this is so difficult for me to understand because, as I said, recently I was having a discussion with someone that she believes that fighting is the way out. And I say, I don't see violence. I don't see violence as a solution. Aren't we with violence like them? I mean, if they promote violence, if they teach us violence, if they do violence on us, if we fall to violence and try to beat them through violence, aren't we like them? Aren't we copying what they're? Aren't we doing exactly what they expect us to do? And with pleasure, I want to say something again. I admit it. I drink. I eat pizza. Whatever I enjoy. For example, another thing someone told me is because I like the NFL. I like the Raiders. Sometimes during chats, I have my cup of the Raiders and has a pirate in there. And someone told me, what is that cup about? Do you have a skeleton there? No, it's a pirate, actually. It's a skeleton of a pirate, but they are the Raiders that they were previously of Los Angeles and then Oakland. They're originally from Oakland. And I do believe they should be in Oakland. And right now, Las Vegas. And what is that? That's a low vibration thing. What are you talking about? Okay. If I watch a Raiders game and I don't allow it to control me, for example, at the end, if they lose, I'm not rageful. I'm not upset. I don't shout to my kids. I don't allow it to control me. I just enjoy it the time that I'm enjoying it. Same with a rock concert, same with a movie, same with a series, same with a book. As long as it's enjoyment, it's neutral, and you don't allow it to control you, it's perfectly fine. Also, that you don't expect to find happiness there. For example, I watch the Raiders. I'm happy. The game ends. And I'm not happy anymore because it's the thing. That's when pleasure becomes an addiction and you're in trouble. Okay, happiness is not found in pleasures. Okay, and that's why money has different angles. Okay, one angle is we want money to stop the pain. Okay, with a lot of money, with sufficient money, there's no financial pain. Usually, you can fix your health issues. Also, you're with lower stress, so your health is better. So everything seems fine. Okay. But that is not happiness, okay? And then with money, you seek the pleasures, trying to find happiness there. Material things, cars, trips even, watches, clothing, food, enjoyment, going to concerts. If you are trying to find happiness there, you're not going to find it. And I always go to a very extreme case of Michael Parsons, something like that, the creator of Minecraft, that he sold his game to Microsoft for a lot of money, $2.5 billion. After taxes, $1.3 billion, or $1,300 million. And then for a year, he went on a rampage out there in Ibiza, Spain, of trying to be happy, trying to find happiness, in that case, through pleasure. There was no pain. He was fine. He wasn't very young. He had his health. He had all the money in the world, basically. And he tried for a year through pleasure, drugs, alcohol, sex, basically those. For a year, he ended up depressed. And what he did was incredible, because he got back from that. But he recognized everyone that wants to be with me is for my money. Every woman that wants to be with me is for my money. Every person that wants anything from me is for my money. Okay. And I don't understand the money anymore, because I try to find happiness through pleasure, and pleasures controlled me. They made me unhappy. That's why a lot of rich people are depressed, and some end taking their own lives. Why? Because they try to find happiness when happiness is not found out there. Happiness is not because people love you, people revere you like, rock stars and artists and actors and that, even politicians and CEOs and all that. No, happiness is within you. It's your own love, the love of the creator you have inside, which is one, infinite, without judgment, and without conditions. Okay? Doesn't matter who you are. Your actions don't define you. Who you are doesn't define you. Who you are in this life, okay? The play we're playing, the role you're playing in this reality doesn't matter. You have the love of the creator inside you, and that's your connection to the everything. That's your connection to your spirit, okay? You bypass the physical body, you bypass the etherical body or soul, you bypass the astral body, that's what I just said, and you go straight to the spirit with your love. And that's how you're happy. That's the only way to be happy. I'm sorry I'm talking absolutes there, but there's no other way. We try in an artificial way to use pleasure to minimize pain and to maximize pleasures, to try to find happiness. And again, that's what this gentleman Parsons that sold Minecraft tried to do. Doesn't work. That's why you see people like Prince Harry. Oh, I'm not happy. No one loves me, and they don't want to talk to me. It hasn't worked a day in his life. He basically has had the possibility to maximize pleasures and minimize pain all his life. And that's why he's a complainer. That's why he even victimizes himself, because he has to go within. And then if you have that in this reality and you go within, you have won the jackpot. Okay. And I believe this gentleman, what I heard is he's doing much better, because he finalized, if I'm not happy with myself, I'm not going to be happy ever. So he found that inside, that no money can give you, no amount of pleasures can give you, no lack of pain can give you. Because again, you see the duality. For us, the normal citizens, they use pain. Okay, pleasures are extra. Okay, if you're caught up with pleasures, that's great, but they use pain, mostly financial pain and health pain or medical pain. But with the ones that have that covered, that's when they get with the pleasures. Oh, you need more money because you need a better car. You need 100 cars. You need a private plane. Oh, you need too many servants. Oh, you need. And then when they have all that, that's when becomes very weird sexually, and that they start doing stuff that it's even very, very bad things, because that's what the lack of fulfillment from all these pleasures will take you to extremes. Okay. So I hope it made sense. I know that the support video, only a part was valid, and yes, I know we're gonna leave the topic of Sophia and the Demiurge and Yalbadao behind. But I think was a good point to make, that this anger, rage, fear, I put that in the same category. Pleasures, all kind, not only sexual, all kind, and pain, all types of pain, and worry, they use all that to control us. That's why I disagree respectfully with everyone that claims that we're here to enjoy. It's a divine thing, and that's why people that that do the right thing, they have a lot of money. I disagree. Just look at the ones that control the world. Okay, you really think they're very aligned with it, with the divine. Okay, and then some claim, no, we're here to suffer through thousands. I remember a gentleman told me millions of reincarnation. Oh my God, really, really? And what's the pain is gonna do? We're gonna learn. You know who learns through pain? Animals. And it's not that they're bad or good. It's not a judgment on animals, but they learn through pain because there's a memory. And you know what they want to do? They want to avoid pain. That's why they learn. That's why if you have a dog, for example, and the dog will do inside the house, they don't understand. They don't have a level of consciousness to understand this is my master's house and I have to go to the outside to do, you know, whatever, my physiological necessities, okay? They don't understand it that way. That's why if you try to talk to them, they're not going to get it ever. Fortunately, you have to be hard with them. And when they are young and they do their stuff inside, you go to them, you take them, and you show them that it's wrong because they're going to see how you're upset and you're actually maybe taking their mouth and putting in there, like saying, hey, I'm upset. You shouldn't do this. If you keep doing it, I'm going to be upset. You're going to suffer pain. And it becomes a memory. And they say, oh, how am I going to avoid this? How am I going to avoid this pain? I'm going to go outside. That's the only thing that pain serves, as a memory. But if it was really a master pain, if pain was a teacher, then why do we want to avoid it so much? And why the only way we learn something is in a very primal, really, like dogs, like cats, like birds, like that. We want to avoid it. So that's, for example, let's say someone hits you. For some reason, I know you're young and it's a bully. You're gonna try to avoid it. You're not gonna go, yeah, teach me pain. Unless there's something really wrong going on. And I think it's more you know, I forgot the word in English. I apologize, but when you really wanna suffer, okay, there's something really wrong going on. Really wrong going on. You're becoming kind of a victim, or it's not the correct word, but I don't find the word in English. That you're actually seeking to find pain, okay? Or maybe there's a very, very wrong thing going on that you find pleasure in pain. Some people that actually hurt in a way, they you know, they hit themselves on that and they experience pleasure. That's something very weird mentally, emotionally going on, okay? But for most reasons, pain, we just try to avoid it. And people that don't have pain in their lives, they don't miss it. Okay, they don't say, wow, actually they feel fortunate in a way, saying, wow, I'm in a position, I don't have any pressures and that. And I share that you don't need to have millions, financially speaking. I was just telling someone that 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I had my needs covered, okay? I had no issue whatever with payment of my children's schools, with the bills. I didn't have a mortgage. My house was fully paid. So actually every month I was in a position, and if you are like that, you're really lucky that I was making more money than I needed. So you start saving. Okay. That's great. I really would like to be like that somewhere somehow. Okay. Because that's when you control money and money doesn't control you. Okay. Because money is a tool to inflict pain. Okay. I know maybe there's no positive spin here. Yes, it is. Is that you control and you can actually, even if you are in the middle of pain, anger, for the pleasure ones, you can control it. Okay. You have all the cards there. The pleasure one is because we allow it. Okay. If someone says, I cannot stop having sex, I cannot stop drinking alcohol, I cannot stop eating and I'm overweight and that, I cannot stop it. It's because you don't want to stop it. Okay. But the anger one, the same, because you control your reactions. You decide if you're pissed off or not. And some people wake up in the morning pissed off. How is that possible? What made them wake up pissed off? That, just think about it. And believe me, a huge percentage of humanity wakes up in the morning pissed off. Okay. How is that possible? I understand that the day-to-day life, the pressures of life, the pain, the things of this reality could get you pissed off later on in the day. Yes, that's totally understandable. But to wake up pissed off, wake up in anger, wake up in rage, I don't wake up in fear, wake up. I don't get it. So I hope you enjoy this show. I'm very fond of these topics. But I feel a little bit isolated in an island that we don't get. People say we need to be pissed off, we need to be upset, we need to fight the system. Do we? Do we? Or is that what they want from us? Just a question. You decide what the answer is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you very much for your attention. Have a great weekend. Take care. Thank you for making it to this part of the video. This is my favorite part. This is where I suggest to you that you discover your true self. You are not what you have been groomed to believe. You are this incredible being without limits that has eternal life, amazing strength, infinite wisdom, and a big, beautiful heart. All your limits are always self-imposed. Your best version in this reality is inside you. Your only mission on this life is to become a beacon of love and to serve others. This version is ready to be discovered today. How do you discover your true self? The discovery process is a personal one. No one can do it for you. Dedicate 5 minutes a day to talk to the universe. Simply ask, who am I? Where do I come from? What is my purpose? You will start getting signs, breadcrumbs, and signals. You will notice how your notions about this reality start disappearing. No more hierarchies, no more competition, no more complaining, no more depending on others. Discovering your true self equals to real freedom. Your self-imposed limits will fall and you will be ready to understand this reality, but you must be patient to allow others to wake up at their time through their own free will. That will be really soon, you will see, and that will set up a new world. As you work towards your best version, you will notice how all emotions don't serve you anymore. Hate, fear, rage, pride, lust, envy, violence, justice through violence, judgment of others, and other emotions will disappear from your mind and heart. You will understand those emotions are only your egoic mind and are not you. Please try to be understanding of others that don't think or feel like you. Everyone has a process. No one is right or wrong. We're all just different. Don't be concerned about being right, ever. Don't allow pride preventing you from patching things up with family and friends. It's very important you enjoy this life with your loved ones. Put in the work to patch things up and leave it to others to decide. Thank you very much for watching. Please share, like, and subscribe. If you have any comments or suggestions, please use the comment section below. For private questions, conversations, and if you'd like to appear on the show, please email me at hey@thealexshow.tv. Thank you again. Please don't forget to visit our website www.thealexshow.tv. By giving me your time, you honor me. Have a very, very, very